We are officially recording and live. Welcome, everybody. I am Sam Solbright and super excited for another New Earth conversation with a dear and beloved soul sister, Marissa Indigo. And actually, the first thing that I like to say is, tell us where you are.
Hello, everyone. Aloha. Welcome. I'm currently stationed in the Pacific Northwest. So I'm in the state of Washington. And I wanted to share the Lemurian New Earth forest vibe with
So
y'all.
so beautiful. So this is actually a picture of an actual place that you just went to a couple weeks ago. So
Yes.
beautiful.
Thank you.
So beautiful. So like we did last time, I'm open to going with the flow with anything and everything that is a line that you like to share. I know we talked a little bit right before this conversation, and so I am going to let you have the floor and we'll just play with it.
That sounds awesome. Well, thank you. It's so great to be here. Thank you so much. I've been looking forward to getting to play and share and just come together. It is so magical. So I just want to say aloha to everyone. And what I was really excited to talk about today, to play with today, is the concepts of embodiment. And my work the last few years, and particularly this year, is like all about we've got to come back into the body. We have to learn what is this beautiful, incredible, like liquid crystal, avatar star suit that we have been gifted with, the Merkaba, so many names for this, And so in meditation and feeling into this conversation, what was coming through was, let's talk about the body as New Earth, the body and the heart as the portals of New Earth. And I crack up, these codes are with us for years, even like, decades before the process. And so you think about like Dell computers, Intel inside. Well, that's like the code, like it's been in our faces this whole time, and now it's registering at a frequency. And that's what I'm excited to share is coming to this space. I was called here to completely envelop myself with Gaia, with the trees, with the mycelium, with the rain, these mosses, this primordial element of Gaia, so that it would be easier for my human to kind of chill and listen deeply, coming into the soul to listen deeply to the wisdom coming from the earth, from New Earth, from Gaia. And it's all about the body. And what I receive more and more is the entrance, all of the information is inside. Like we are like the walking Akashic, crystalline library hall of Amenti. It's all inside, intel inside. And so my work, really the last decade has been learning systems of embodiment practices like the breath, connecting with the breath, or yoga. More recently, Sam and I really connected with movement and dance and conscious ecstatic dance and music. And so essentially, if we could just think of, okay, we lived up here, this is how we survived the old paradigm. And the new and New Earth is, heart and just the whole body, and an embodiment practice that I want to share with everyone, this could be super transformative for you, is moving your body and your, like just the parts of you in a spiral for just a few minutes every day.
Yes, I love that.
Right?
I've been doing that myself. It's almost like innate within us.
100%.
Like connect more. It's this flow. It's this like organic movement that your body starts to. It's literally your body starts to move almost on its own. Like
yes,
if you allow it, if you really connect to it, your body will move in ways that it needs to. It's Absolutely. Beautiful. It's so beautiful.
It's incredible. And so this is that technology that I love to share with people is, is this whole notion of embodiment. Well, if we break apart the word, we have emotions, body, the body, and mente, the mind, right? So that's that trinitized beingness of aligning these components of the physical experience, the spiritual being having a human experience with the soul, with these New Earth codes, the freedom codes. And when we talk about movement, one of the first things that we start to realize and then deprogram is our constriction. And one of the things that I've been really working a lot on deprogramming and witnessing in a softness with Gaia is where we have that programming of the patriarchy. Stay still. don't take up too much space. Don't breathe too much. Like there's so much, and so part of it is like allow yourself to expand in the body. So something as simple as moving in a spiral to some lovely music, if you want, will shift your entire reality, because we're no longer in that linear constricted, like, in a line, right? In a line, narrow, neat rows,
Box.
in the box. We are now aligning with the cosmic geometries. Like, look at how the galaxy is a spiral. Look at how water, like when you pour water into a vessel, or any liquid, it spirals with, with the way that gravity works, all of it. So we are a spiral. And it's just magnificent. We can, if we can just have these little touch points, these little practices, breath, inhaling, and just allowing yourself to like close your eyes and just feel the inhale through your nostrils and feel it out through your lips, and just feel every subtle nuance of that experience of your expansion with the gas of oxygen, of prana. Like this brings us into the body and into the moment. And then from there, we can start to, once we're in that space, like I want to share a practice that's been coming through the last few months, is like, I call it first breath. The first breath, like you wake up, and depending on where you are, maybe the mind is going, maybe you've got some processing to do, maybe there's some steps we have to take to come into alignment with our higher frequencies of being, with Gaia 2 of New Earth. Maybe we have to do some processing to get back there, back home, right? And so in that, it's like, I find, okay, what's my first real breath today? And I'll usually have my coffee, and I'm sitting like watching the sky, listening to the rain, whatever, like coming online, I call it, as you're waking up, and really like allowing yourself that first deep, real breath, the full, massive breath, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, cool, I'm in my body again, because it's an unconscious thing for us to go back to just living in, we do it. But these things help us to come into the now, and then we can assess inside, okay, now what's in here? What's in my consciousness? What are my needs to align? Do I need to align, or am I already there, right? And then from there, the intel is inside, and we can start to get this biofeedback. Like, this is another thing I was so excited to share, is I'm realizing like we, in a symbiotic relationship with Gaia, with our physical environment, we are a living biofeedback. So we're going to see where we are all around us. So that's a great measurement too. Like, what does the sky look like? Are we in a crystalline state? We're going to see it. You're going to see it in the plants. And so cool. They show us right away. Yeah. So I was really excited to share that.
Yeah, no, I'm excited that you felt called to share this, because just yesterday, I had a little put out a video about New Earth and how it is really inside of us. It's the frequency. And so now that, as you're bringing this up, it's like, it's so important for us to continuously tune into the body, because that will tell us where we're not holding the frequency, and where we are, and how to shift, and how to feel more of it, how to be more present, like you said, with the body and with the breath, will allow us to recognize where we're functioning, what we're experiencing. Are we experiencing the old? Are we experiencing the new? It's so powerful. And just coming back into that deep sacred connection, deeper and deeper. Like you said, I mean, the mind and all of this has been so automatic. Sometimes we just slip in and out so natural, because it's just been something that we've all grown up with, and it's been subconsciously embedded. And so now more and more it's starting to recognize, like, when we're up here, and just like you said, even just connecting to the breath, automatically that allows you to get back into the body. Just shift into the whole body instead of just this part. Like, it's essentially being one with everything.
It's just
but it's beautiful. It's beautiful, the breath and then the spirals. I love it.
And another thing is, I want to share because, you know, we're in a huge, beautiful transition. New Earth is here and it is palpable. And then there are frequencies of the old as it is dissolving, which can pull our attention or perhaps are affecting the regions where we live and the layers of consciousness of other individuals where we live right now. And I just want to share that I completely understand that experience, like where a lot of us are galactically stationed as part of our service work, as part of our grid work. There may be a lot going on. So we build the frequencies within, you know, and we're like a superconductor, you know, of the new earth within. And eventually our work, if you will be completed in that area. And maybe we're relocated, or maybe the whole area is now transformed. I mean, that's an individual experience, but I just wanted to share that importance of building the inner sanctum, building the temples, you know, within us of new earth. We are it, you know, and we share it in the communities and, you know, and all of that. And thank goodness for Gaia, because she makes it easy. You know, once you take in that beauty and like the pure frequencies, the organic frequencies, it's like, oh, you know, okay, homecoming, breathe it in, you know, breathe it in. Another thing I wanted to share is this visual of running information through the body. So we're remembering how to move out of here and out of into all of this. And now information will be run through and you'll feel it. And it starts to kind of activate your innate spidey senses, your innate ESP, HSP. We have all of these things. We're in a different frequency, right? So they were harder to hear perhaps, which is sense. So now we're going to have all of this information. You're going to know in the rootedness of your being what's aligned, or, you know, all of everything you need to know. And that's really what I wanted to elaborate upon, is trusting ourselves again, trusting our body, you know, trusting, you know, our hearts and our intuitive knowingness, our connection, because we've had it the whole time. It was just quiet, you know, and there's a lot of distraction and a lot of pulling. Yeah, so I just want to make sure everyone really feels supported at this time, because it's a really incredible time, a magical time to be alive here on this planet for this, you know. Wow.
It is. It is. And like, and glad you said that, because it's both. I mean, it is. We're going through a big transition right now,
Yeah.
and we're gonna feel more.
Yeah.
We're gonna go through deeper layers of the heaviness inside.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's offering this amazing and magical opportunity to feel who we are again, and to experience the magic and the oneness and new earth in deeper levels than we've ever had before. I mean, it really is a catapult in many ways.
It's very
that if we just like go all in, jump, and just embrace everything, and just say, you know what, like F everything else of the old, like I'm here to just feel everything. It's massive. It's so big. And I feel like more and more of what's happening, it's getting us pushing and like forcing of like, okay, this is it. Like, you gotta go all in. You gotta just feel everything. You gotta feel more in every way, because the feeling allows you to reconnect with the purity, the essence. And it really is about, you know, feeling it with your whole body, engaging your entire body in the process. Don't let any part of it out, you know, like.
Yeah. And my favorite way to do this, because we can get mental about it, trying. And so what I want to share in my own experience of this is, you know, we want to go so deep, like we are so committed to this, right? And so for me, one of the most powerful and pure, graceful ways in is through movement. So finding some lovely music, like world music that has a variety of instruments, maybe some sacred singing, some mantras, some toning, and a variety of instruments. You want percussive, you're going to feel that in a different part of you. You want flute and violin and piano and synth. You're going to feel, you know, these different, and then drum and bass, you're going to feel these elements of music in different parts of you. And the body's going to want to move a certain way to them. And it is so much fun to just step back and let the body have its own language of communication. It's pre-verbal. It's such a primordial, incredible access that we have to our ancient divinity, like ancient human divinity. And it makes me think of, like, you know, the Lemurians and this technology of the body with the elements and stuff. And so that for me is one of the most wonderful ways, because we don't know everything that sometimes we can't even identify, what are we feeling? Is it mine? Is it ancestral? Is it collective? Is it all of the above? And then the dance can become a prayer, you know, a meditation of just observing what's flowing through, and allow yourself to cry, allow yourself to do these movements of invoking abundance, like into the body. Like, it's so cool what starts to happen when we kind of quiet the mind and let the body lead. And that's that trust again. You know, we're rebuilding this wiring in the light body, the neurology, coming out of the limbic brain, or those trauma parts, right, into the higher parts of the brain, and activating higher levels of the light body to, it's just so exciting. What we have access for.
And I love that you mentioned the instruments. I feel like tapping into the frequency of each different instrument will allow us to tap into different aspects of ourselves on different levels. Like, I actually never thought about that until you said that right now. I'm like, oh my God, that's so true. And we know frequency is huge. I mean, we all are frequency, and getting in touch with the different instruments, like you said, world or tribal music. It's funny because yesterday I was having to do something unexpected, and all of a sudden I just put on some it's just tribal, like, world music.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I wasn't actually dancing to it. I was just kind of in the mood with what I was doing. But it's so powerful, and I'm so glad that you shared that, because we get kind of stuck in, like, we kind of, I mean, and not to say that like, I've always loved world music. Like, I've always loved even if I didn't understand what they were saying, like, there was something that just, and I feel like, in fact, I had an experience a couple years ago where I was shared this song I've never heard before, and all of a sudden I just started crying. And it's this beautiful reconnection opportunity that music offers us that we may not understand. It may not make any sense, but it touches the soul. And it's that reconnection with the body. And it was powerful. I've actually, like, there's been a couple of instances, but that one, like, stands up the most from the other ones. And so opening yourself up to listening to, like you said, the world, the tribal
and African, I mean, gosh, the whole world has, I mean, you know, you could be, you know, like, I'm in my studio dancing, and these are voices from all over the planet, and you feel the one heart, you feel that beautiful new earth tribe connection on a soul level. It's like, and you really, this is a fun way to talk about, you know, the body being the vehicle, the Merkaba. Well, when you have, like, a conscious ecstatic dance experience of some music, and just allowing yourself to breathe and just let the body do what it's doing. I mean, you go on a voyage that takes you, you know, to the depths of the earth. You're dancing around fires with other tribes, like in Africa. You're astral traveling all throughout history, all through your DNA, all into the deep, you know, the galaxies. It can be such an incredible travel experience, you know, all through your consciousness. It's all through the DNA. It's really fun, and it starts to help to open and connect, making it easier to access our gifts as well, you know, our inspirations. Oh yeah, so really a big medicine that could support so many, and kids too. Whole families dancing together would be so awesome, you know.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna just bring this whole we're bringing our family together to reconnect in so many different ways.
Yeah,
there's so many different ways. And I think the dancing and the music, it really, like, connects us without needing to understand. Like, we feel it. It's
exactly.
a feeling, and that's you know, the more we connect inside with our own body and with our feelings, we get to connect with everybody else.
And I feel like that's the GPS. So for a while, you know, in the amnesia experience of incarnation, it may have been softened, you know, that frequency, that radio dial maybe was fuzzy, or there was a lot of interference. And now through these kinds of practices, we're going to remember, you know, how much wisdom, how much gnosis, how much inner knowing we have access to in the moment, reading the energy by feeling it through us, you know. It's so exciting. And this is the huge parts of the freedom codes. And so for me, that was a huge portal to transcend was, and it's still a process because it's ingrained, you know, in the neurology of that constriction, you know. We're unraveling trauma patterns. So we're allowing ourselves to move. And that is just unlocking, like unzipping the most incredible file of the freedom codes ever, because that's how we're going to access, you know. So if we allow ourselves to move and take up space and be loud where we can, you know, really being freeing the voice, you know. And this whole approach is also an embodiment of mother, of Gaia, of divine mother, because we start to see that part of the programming is this always reaching, like it's all these really deep indoctrination of separation, and that's all an illusion. So there's really nothing to reach for, to grasp for. There's nothing wrong, you know. If we could put all that down and just say, show me, you know, and everything you need to know in the moment is just going to come right up like a file. So it's like reigniting that connection to our receptive nature, which is the divine feminine, which is, you know, arising for years and years and years. And now we're coming deeper with her within us, men and women, of this access to wisdom, which is always here. Sophia is always here. But we, you know, we were programmed to think we were separate, and that the wisdom had to be earned, right? That there was something to do for it, right? Or to suffer for it, or that efforting had to be made. And it's like, actually, you know, it's the opposite. 5D and above, the efforting is just allowing it. Can we get out of our own way? Right? That's always the thing for me. I'm like, please show me how I'm in my own way again. Like, please show me, right?
Well, and I feel like, I mean, that's a realization, and like, again, like you're doing, you're intentionally like saying, okay, where am I blocking myself? Where am I holding myself back? Where am I still believing in the old paradigms and the old stuff?
Yeah. Or am I just overthinking it again? Like, do I just need to like get out of here? And, you know, so it's always this fun game of assessment, you know, where are we? And I hear that song, like, where's your head at? You know, that really funny song, like, where's your head at? Like, and then, you know,
It's funny.
and like merging it with here, you know, so then there's that balance, you know. Yeah.
So many different we're coming into like so many different realizations and so many different tools to apply to our daily lives. And it's, you know, it's there's an infinite of them, and there's no wrong or right.
That's right.
It's the one that you're guided to and that works in that moment. You know, there's a lot of people that I've kind of come across a couple of people saying, you know, what I used to do isn't really working anymore, or what I've always done, it's, you know, it's the effect is no longer as it once used to.
That's right.
And I feel like this is all again opening us up to reconnecting in different ways, so that we can even create our own or try new ones, you know, play with new ones in different ways. Because I feel like that is part of mastery, part of, like, you know, embracing everything and learning new ones and in a new way. Because that's also been like, you know, we learn from something, it works, and then we just kind of get stuck in it.
Yes, that's right.
And so opening up to flowing with new things, and, you know, not attaching to anything, and just allowing new ones to come through. And even in a new way, like for me, I've been dancing for a while, but the way that I'm dancing now is completely new. it's completely different. And I actually was sharing this with another one of my dancing friends, and she was just kind of like listening in awe, and it was just because we both were like in a dance team, and it was partner dancing, and it's fun and it was great, but now I'm rediscovering myself in a different way.
Yeah.
Moving in a different way.
Beautiful.
Connecting with my body in a different way. And so, yeah, again, it's like opening up to all new ways, new ways, new tools. With the breath, there's so much that we can do with the breath as well. It's this never ending toolbox, basically, that we have and that we're opening up to. And that's exciting in many, many ways.
Oh, it is. And that's why I think it's important for us to share. And, for everyone out there, like, share what lights you up. It could be, I don't know, a picture of a flower. It could be the most basic, simple things. It could be baking. And I mean, so many things, that enrich our life experience that are really magical and simple. And, the way the light shines on something. I mean, shadows. Yeah, simple. Just, if we start to bring our focus on what is beautiful, what is beauty to me, we will expand more of that. And that's another access code, to New Earth. It's that beauty and the grace and just being open to it, softening and allowing ourselves to be shown. And, what I've been like hearing now, really the last 2 years more than ever, is like, we're all artists somehow. Each of us is a portal of creativity. That's divinity, is our creativity. And how, and there's no limits. Like, I'm finding like being pushed in my work to levels that my human is like, oh my God, terrified and like hyperventilating, because it pushes and it brings up old experiences. And you just trust and you go with it, because the beauty and the magic and the love and the faith in that, what we're being called or asked, is greater than the fear. It's still there, but the love piece is greater. And so you'll find yourself like, oh, I like to sing. Oh, I like to dance. I like to paint. Some of these things we've done our whole lives, and we're going to do them in a whole new way. Some of these things we've never done. We never knew we could do them. Like such different things, jewelry making, like things with our hands, like picking up an instrument, all of these ways of connection. And that we're all artists. It's like, what does your soul want to share? What is your art form? Because time is fluid. It doesn't really exist. It's a way for us to define things, but it's all art. Like our beingness, it's all art. So if we start to look at ourselves as an artist, what does that mean? Is it how you show up and nurture children? If you're a caregiver, kind of in that role, depending on, or the earth, like all of these roles I see as we're transitioning into New Earth. A lot of what people did in the old paradigm is still relevant in the new paradigm, because it's loving, it's caring, it's nurturing, it's developing and growing. And there's like so many ways for that to happen,
I love that.
Yeah.
I love the artist, because we're always creating. And so that creator essence is artistic. It's creativity. It's who we are. And I feel like more and more of us are embracing that. And like you said, we're rekindling things that we haven't done in a long time that we used to love. We're finding new things that are sparking up, our creativity, and we are coming from it in a whole different way. And the sharing of it is so huge. I wrote a lot about sharing in a new way, and sharing who you are, sharing ourselves.
Yes.
And it's so huge and it's so powerful. And like you said, even just the simple things that bring you joy, that bring you into that space of peace. It doesn't matter what, if you think it's too small or too insignificant,
Yeah.
it may mean the world to somebody. And a lot of the times when we share the simple and the pure and the beauty and the magic, it opens up more, it opens up others, it opens up their heart, it opens up our hearts. um and it's such a huge part of this process. And it also, and I think you might have said it also brings up a lot of the fear and the insecurities and all of that, which is meant to.
Yes.
We're supposed to feel everything.
Yes.
And no longer believe it, no longer believe that it's true and that it's more powerful. Like, our sharing is what is truly going to shift a lot of things in a lot of ways.
And faster. It can be faster because, I see it as embracing self-love and embracing who our authentic being is. And we can be quirky and goofy and, I mean, it's all welcome. Like, all of you is welcome, essentially. Like, and just starting to soothe ourselves into that. Like, it's not about perfection. That doesn't exist. That's a program. Everything already is perfect, actually.
Yes.
Energy and creation is flowing constantly.
Mhm.
And for me, the embodiment of being an artist was huge, because my whole life I was like, I'm an artist, but I never let myself do it because it wasn't productive. It was frivolous, yet it was the thing that would bring the most joy. So, we see how deep the old is, and just flip it on its head. It's all good. It's perfect. That's what we're doing. We're weeding the garden. So that's a huge one of liberation, of self-liberation. And the thing is, for those who are nervous about sharing themselves, that's that self-love piece. Because you start to realize when you become vulnerable, which is the biggest superpower we have, actually, right? Of like, this is who I am. And we're so, programmed before from like, persecution or like whatever. The old was suppression and conformity, and essentially like a star shape being beat over the head to try to fit into a cube. And there's no cube, right? And so it's starting to embrace that and just sharing like these little things. And then we find commonalities. So it's also rebuilding the crystal village, the global crystal village, by sharing who we are online. Like on my Facebook, I love to share all kinds of stuff. I share things I bake with my family and, whatever, I don't know, celebrating flowers because it's spring and the colors and all the things that we do. And that touches other people's hearts, and shows them how to feel it again and how to trust it and how to just, and I feel like that if we all stepped up to that, I'm just going to throw the challenge out to our viewers of, challenge, activation, invitation of showing up and sharing more of who you are and what you love and what you're passionate about and what you find inspiring, because it connects us all on a deeper level, of being authentic. And that's the thing, is to really embrace that. And, yeah. And again, it's not about being perfect. It's who are you? We're all an amalgam of all kinds of things.
Yeah. Well, and it's when we tap into the frequency of the joy and the play and the fun in these creative endeavors and in these artistic, projects, we're literally in the near earth frequency. Like, we are experiencing that. And the more we share that, the more it activates other people, and it serves as a remembrance and a reminder that we all have access to this. And it's also almost as a giving each other permission.
Yes.
We're giving each other permission to follow our joy and follow our love and follow what really brings us into this openness state. And I feel we all have that role for each other. Like, we're all, the more we do it and the more we share, the more other people get activated and the more people start doing it as well.
Right.
So
and beautiful. So beautiful. I just see like ripples. It's like ripples. It just goes into infinity. We're all supporting one another. It's just beautiful.
Yes. I mean, we're all so connected, and we're all literally like giving each other all of these, we're supporting each other, we're lending a hand, we're activating all of these different things. and bringing each other up. Like we're just, it's this beautiful web that we're weaving together and bringing higher and higher and higher codes and remembrances and activations and new ways of existing, and that in itself, like that is how we literally start to build the foundation. It's simple, you know. We sometimes aspects get caught up in like, I want to see it out there and I want to see it in the systems and the, you know, like physical like structures, but in reality we're the ones that are holding those structures. We are the foundation. And it starts with each and every single one of us, where you're not going to see it out in the masses unless you start to build it yourself and create that for yourself, because then that, like we said, it ripples out. It creates a stronger foundation and a bigger web of crystalline magic that starts to then become more visible, because there's already, like, we're already having a lot of people that are doing new earth, that are creating new earth businesses, that are creating new earth communities, that are creating all these conscious things, but we're still not seeing it, you know, out in the masses yet, you know, and it's the more we start to do it in our own lives, in our own homes, in our own communities, then it's going to be everywhere. And I'm pretty, like, I feel it in my heart. So, I mean, I don't have no time frame, but it's going to be out in the, like, we're going to start seeing it more and more and more and more. The more each and every single one of us start to create this on our own and for ourselves, and bring in that joy and that fun and that creativity in our own homes. Like, you know, we might feel like, oh, it's not enough, and who am I, and, you know, one person can't, but like, it can, it really does start with you, with your home, with, or your office, or whatever your physical environment looks like. Bringing that frequency and bringing that newness and that play and that joy and that creativity, and like we said, sharing it. You know, even if it's not, like, when we say share, like, you know, a lot of people automatically think, oh my gosh, I have to be on video, or oh my gosh, I have to share on social media. But it's like, you know what? No, keep it simple. Like, even if it's just sharing it to you, sharing it for yourself, like sharing it just to you or to a friend or to, you know, whoever is there. Like, start small, start with what you feel comfortable. And then that will grow. That will organically grow in where you'll be guided to share in more ways and different ways. Because I mean, the gist of everything is like us just being present and being our light is sharing. We're sharing ourselves. We're sharing our light. As like right now, we're sharing ourselves, we're sharing our experiences, and it really is enough.
It's so important for people to know that, you know, that there's so many ways to contribute to the shift. And I would say that it's consistency. It's a commitment, you know, to showing up as you are. The shift can be so fast, you know. It could be like a light switch flipping on. It's just that tipping point of enough individuals saying, yeah, you know, I'm ready to be in this stream of energy. Let it course through me, let it take me, you know, let it show me, let it help me to purge and process and come back home. It's already inside. It's all, again, intel inside. It's all inside. And I'm working on a book right now because of what I've been receiving from Gaia. I mean, the codes are so immense.
Yes.
And you talked about, you know, touching on the foundation. And it's really beautiful because what Gaia has said so clearly, and this is the kind of stuff that just brings you to your knees because it's so beautiful, and it will bring up anything within us that's, you know, the unworthiness piece, or that's too easy. There's no way I could have that. It's really powerful deconstruction. When we are with Gaia and we are on New Earth, everything, you see beauty everywhere. Everything is an activation. She gives us everything that we could ever need resource-wise when we are open, when we live in the open heart space for that as the bridge to it, to meet it. She gives us everything we could ever need to thrive. I mean, the amount of inspiration and creativity, like let's say, for instance, if you like photography, okay? You go out into nature and you connect with her and you stay open to what magic am I going to see today? And it's your individual eye, you know, and the way you see the world that you capture in photography. And then maybe all of a sudden, like it's a series, you know, and it's a coffee table book or something. Like, you know, like she gives us everything that you could ever need. Or you go out and you get an energy healing with the trees, you feel all nice and clear and you're full of energy, and you can go teach a yoga class, you know, or whatever, like just being out in public in a high frequency. It's very fascinating. So she gives us everything we could ever want or need. We just, and that's the nature of creation, actually. So that's why she's such a powerful teacher for us, because we start to realize, you know, and remember the abundance that is here for us to work with, like clay, if we will accept it and allow it. So she says, it's all up to you. You can have it all. It's all up to you, though. You have to do it. You have to do it. So it's beautiful because it's like what you're touching on is all of us just have to stand up and say no thank you to the old way, you know, as it presents on a daily or whatever until it doesn't anymore, right? We're all in that process, and say, this is what I love. This is what I see. This is what I want. This is what resonates. That's saying yes, you know. Yeah. And it's like, you know, it can be easier said than done sometimes, because it helps us to deprogram a lot of deep threads, you know, of unworthiness and things like that. But it's just consistent showing up to that too helps us to become in greater alignment. And we're building the New Earth foundations inside through our direct experiences and sharing them with one another. And I love everything you said about that, because yeah, we are going to see it. We are going to see it in the systems, and who knows when, but it starts inside, you know. And we build the framework, and then we see, I mean, we already built all of it. It's just not, we have to ground it into the body, into our body, and then it's here right in front of our face, you know. And ways that we can remind ourselves of this when that can seem far away, or any of these concepts like when is it going to happen, is again, I come back to that biofeedback. Okay, well, you want to know some more information, let's ask to be shown. And a beautiful code I received on the 22222 last week, which I have to write an article about this. Like, I haven't been able to write anything for a long time, and that drives me nuts because I love to write and share the code, but it just, I haven't been able to get in that. It's still receiving more and just taking little notes. And so eventually, but what I received was, look at the sky as like the TV. Like when you have clouds in the sky, look at it and sit with it and ask, and you're going to be shown like shapes. Like I've seen words. I said hi to the cloud people once, and they full on formed a hi with an exclamation point, and I couldn't believe it. Like me and my boyfriend at the time were like, can you believe this? Like, so the clouds, you know, have a direct, as beings, they have a direct interface with us if we sit with them and ask and just chill and like watch. Like, so it's like, it's almost like a form of divination. It's almost like consulting the oracle cards. Just go outside and see what you see and what comes in, what animal totems, what colors. It's all information. And the clouds, you can literally use them like that's the news for me now, is the clouds. You know, they'll tell me everything by the colors, whatever's going on. They show me where I am, and they'll give me information. And then, you know, I say thank you, and then they form a heart. I'm like, oh my God, you know, you just start crying because it's just so amazing to have this direct feedback all the time once we tune in. And let's see, I think we lost Sam, so she'll be back, guys. So yeah, this has been just an immense, beautiful time. I think we're at an hour here. Let's see. I'm gonna check my phone and see if she texts anything. No, not yet. Let's see if she's coming in. Well, welcome to the Quinault. I'll talk a little bit about this forest here that's behind me, and maybe Sam will pop back on. This is the Quinault rainforest. This is part of the Olympic rainforest here, up in Washington state. And I mean, we've got just some incredible tree beings that are thousands of years old. They're so big that it would take a lot of us holding hands to hug them. And my experience with these tree beings a few weeks ago now, we've got to go up and visit them. There's a lot of beautiful indigenous energy here. The tribes, the Quinault tribe still owns the land, which is great. So you've got the cedar, which is such an incredible energy of purification and love, and these ancient mosses and the ferns. So a lot of primordial energy. And Sam is back now. So that was perfect. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to talk about like what's behind me in the forest a little bit until you come back. So it was good.
My phone got really hot, apparently.
Oh, okay.
And it shut off, but I think it's like you're still live and we're still recording.
It was perfect. Everything kept going. It just said, "You're the host now." I was like, "Okay, she'll be back. She'll be back." And
Oh, thank you so much.
yeah, it worked out good. I think we're about an hour now. So what do you think? Does this feel complete? Is there anything else? What do you think?
Were you finished talking? I'm so sorry.
Well, yeah, but whatever, if there's more, like, do you have, I mean, I could go all day, we could go all day.
So one of the things,
else? Yeah.
I hope you finish because I know that you were about to start talking on the codes you received. Or
Yeah.
I don't know if you finished.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Because I think I got most of it out before you left. And then I was like, oh, look, let's talk about the forest a little bit.
Okay.
It was perfect. Yeah.
But if you already did complete that, I just wanted to share, or I wanted to piggyback on the Gaia. I've been sharing this, with myself and with clients, as well as to how important it is to reconnect with her.
Yes.
And it's even something that, like, sometimes we have to remind ourselves that she's accessible to every single one of us.
Yeah.
Like she's out there. There's no cost to her.
That's right.
For the most part, it's something that we have to continuously choose and open up to, and remind ourselves that just, even if it's just thinking and being in the frequencies of her, we've been Lisa says, bring her into your home.
Yeah.
If you can't go out there with her, but it can be as simple as just connecting to the outdoors, to the sky, like you said, the clouds. So you're talking about the clouds and the TV screen.
Yeah.
I'll listen to it again. But it's simple and it's accessible to every single one of us. And I know that the more that we continuously connect to those frequencies, connecting with her, the more we're going to remember the peace and the newness and the beauty that already exists within and without, in ways that we don't get sucked into the outer reality, and that being real. And that being like all of that, I mean, it's happening in a dimensional realm and it's happening for a purpose, but we have to remind and get back into the purity that we are, the purity that already exists, and the purity that is already inside of us.
Yeah, just come home, just come home.
That's been such a huge, for many, feeling home again, and feeling this pure love presence
Yeah.
that we're all returning to. We're all going back into who we are, who we've always been. So beautiful. I just love
Well,
it.
and I wanted to share, like, for those of our friends that are holding down the frequencies, maybe in a more urban environment, definitely look for parks, local parks. But then
Mhm.
there's, our work that we put out. Like, one of my roles is, what's come through is a portal engineer or portal architect or technician. And so I go to places like this and have these incredible experiences that are very emotional, and document the whole thing with video and photo. And then I make an activational video with music and little prompts to support this being like a visual activation journey. So there are so many ways to connect with nature if it's really difficult, logistically speaking, or your location or weather, perhaps. Online can help as well, and listening to the sounds of running water. Like, there's a really great channel, Relax 24, on YouTube, and they have like
Mhm.
hours of like a stream or river or rain on a tin roof with thunder. I mean, it's endless. You could pick any options to connect with the elementals. um is
Thank you
really
for that.
helpful, just for those who, where if it is difficult, or maybe we don't have the abundance yet to get plants to put them in the house. There's always a way. There's always a way. Just don't get discouraged. Just keep your heart open, and just keep asking. um Another thing I wanted to share was, it took me 6 months, guys, to root in here, in where I am in Washington, because it's not a permanent station for me. And the layers of consciousness are um, not resonant for my being. I'm here more to serve as a conduit. And I had to mourn the fact that I couldn't build community here in the physical with others. They're just not ready yet. And I also had to deprogram the fear of maybe, getting overrun with discordant frequencies, because at first it was so much to come here. And to get settled in, I thought, oh my gosh, I don't know if my physical body can handle this, to try to do all these things. And so I want to share a really powerful thing that happened. There's an activation I have on my YouTube channel called Messages from the Mycelium. And the Mycelium network came to me after being here about a month. I was really having a lot of wonderful heart opening with all the green and with Gaia, but I was still afraid. And I was processing a lot of root chakra, childhood trauma of leaving Eden and going to Babylon. And a lot of us have this trauma. We were little and we were relocated to another place to do our work. And it's like, I don't want to leave heaven. Like, what the hell, literally what the hell, right? So Gaia, so Gaia can be a saving grace for us, to reconnect. And so what happened was, I was in this moment, of crying and being afraid and processing that. And the mycelial network are the original internet of Gaia. So deep in the soil, there are these root systems, and it looks like neurons. It looks like the nerves going through our brain and electrical pulses. And it's a crystalline consciousness, an extension of Gaia Sophia. And it's just incredible. And the mushrooms would be one example of that, the fungi network. So it is a fungi. It's an internet deep in the earth. And what they showed me, I'm sitting outside crying, just like, why can't I let go? Like, why am I so sphinctered up here? Why is my root chakra just not like, please show me what I need to do to relax. And the mycelial network came, and they shared, we have been here with you everywhere you've been on the planet, both in physical location, like a global position, and also developmentally. They have known us. They're very ancient primordial consciousness. They're like elders. And there's such soft, loving, holding, supportive energy. They see us and they have so much respect and honor for us in our human experience as we're doing all of this that we're doing, guys. And they shared, we have seen you. We know you. We may know you better than you know you sometimes, from everywhere you've lived and every state you've been in of consciousness. And I was like, it was just such a moment. And so this transmission came through of a connection with them. It's a meditative journey to meet them, because they're everywhere on the planet, everywhere we are. Even if we live in an oceany kind of tropical place, they're still underneath all the layers of the ocean. They're everywhere. It's a really amazing resource to connect in with. So that was the first step, was meeting them and feeling like, okay, there's this primordial consciousness here with me that's very It's interesting because it's Terran, but it also feels kind of celestial because it's so ancient. You know, it's been here since like the planet's formation. You know, they're so ancient and so slowed down and like so chill. So that was part one of feeling like, okay, there's something here safe for me to connect to. That's an organic, pure, crystalline consciousness, right? Then it was realizing, and this took 6 months after that activation, to put our root in deeper than the layers of everything other than Gaia. So just put everything aside, whatever's going on regionally and all this stuff, all of the clearing, and go deep into Gaia. Put your root deep into her, into 5D and up, new earth, you know, crystalline core, wherever you are. And then you'll start to run the currents with her and you'll feel her in you. Even if you're in an urban environment, that's the way. It doesn't matter where you are. You can connect with her deeply that way and use images like this, you know, use activations, beautiful images, whatever, you know, to help you get there. Watch really nice movies that take you there too. Like, you know, there's a lot of cool stuff. The Planet Earth stuff is so much fun. All those different things to connect also. Yeah, I just wanted to share that because it took a long time for me to deprogram a lot of stuff of feeling threatened, you know, so many different things. And they're all programs, but we're all star beings here. We're all star people here in this space. And there are aspects of those parts of ourselves that have other trauma from other, you know, and that's essentially where the planet is deconstructing the galactic wars and surrendering the battle. Some of us, our DNA has components that are battling too, right? So it's like feeling safe and connecting, and Gaia will give us everything we need to do all of this. It's so wonderful. So yeah, I just feel so blessed to receive that information and to share it. It's really, I'm so excited to hear what everyone gets from this down the road, you know, from this sharing. It's so fun. Yeah.
So much. There's so much. And so thank you so much for your energy, your space, your beautiful, beautiful loving presence.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are we good?
Yeah, this has been so fun. I'm so excited. Thank you, everyone.
Yes.
Thank you, Sam.
This is definitely not the first or the last. I mean, it is the first, will be the last. I definitely want to come together with you and so many other people that are ready to just share. We're here to share. We're here to support. We're here to, you know, it's like we're holding hands together. Like, let's keep going, guys. Let's keep moving. And so I'm gonna put Marissa's contact information, websites, links, all that good stuff. For those that are being called, guided, and ready to reach out, see all that she offers, everything that she does. It's amazing. And so, yeah, we're here. We're here to again, to share, to light the way, to experience the new and reconnect with all that we are. So,
and I see us, we're all mirrors. We're all mirrors. So one of the most important teachings I ever received from a mentor a long time ago, which goes both ways, so it's really helpful to see where we are, is if you spot it, you got it. So whatever you're seeing, we have it because it's a magnetic thread. So when you come with us and we're sharing with you and you appreciate these things, know that you are not separate from them because we're just mirroring to you what you have. That's why we're all here. So we can start to use this as the sacred hall of mirrors to activate one another of inherent truths and you know, all the codes that are inside. That's the whole point. So I love it because I just keep hearing, just keep shining. Like you have soul bright, we're shining from soul, you know, we're all suns, you know, it's so exciting. So
well, thank you for sharing that, because that is a really important aspect to keep reminding ourselves. And what came through right now is also remembering that we chose that that reflection. And if it doesn't align, then you can choose something else. You can choose something different. We have that conscious choice now, to choose more, choose from the soul, from the light, from the purity that we are. And yeah, keep going. We're just gonna keep shining bright, shining our soul, our sun. So Thank you so
much.
much. Thank you so much. Until next time, thank you everybody for watching, listening, receiving, and opening up more and more and more. We're on this together. You're not alone. We're all going through this, guys. Like a lot, you know. And I had to say that a couple of times of like you're not alone on this. Like there's things that will continue to get stirred up in us, and we're all being activated in many, many different ways. Yeah. So beautiful. Just wanted to share that. Beautiful. But anyway, thank you so much, Marissa.
Thank you so much.
Until next time. Thank you, everybody.
Aloha.
Aloha.